New Zealand has declared a state of emergency as Cyclone Gabrielle has battered the North Island, bringing widespread flooding and also leaving tens of thousands of people without power. New Zealand has suffered some extensive flooding, landslides and damage to roads and infrastructure as Cyclone Gabrielle has wreaked havoc, forcing evacuations and also stranding many people on rooftops.
Flooding of properties in Thames Coromandel district.
This doesn't compare with anything. This is just over the top. Really, you know, like the thunder and lightning and everything last night was just horrific. So, but the devastation is just, it just makes you want to cry, to be honest. Very upsetting.
New Zealand's Prime Minister Chris Hipkins has said that Cyclone Gabrielle was probably the biggest weather event that the country has experienced in recent times. It's also the third time in the country's history that a state of emergency has been declared.
New Zealanders I want to acknowledge that this extreme weather event, one of the biggest that we have seen in recent times, probably the biggest that we have seen in recent times, comes hot on the heels of other extreme weather events that we have seen. And that means that for our first responders, for our emergency support agencies, it is a particularly tiring time, a particularly stressful time.
Now look at these visuals on your screens which show the extent of flooding in northern New Zealand's Hawke's Bay farmland, which has been completely inundated in the floodwaters as rivers have overflowed, creating havoc near the eastern coast of the country's North Island. And New Zealand's Emergency Management Minister has also called it as unprecedented weather event and has signed a declaration of emergency services who are now at this moment struggling to cope with these floods.
We don't even know where the farmer is.
Resources will now be directed to the 6 most badly affected regions where the emergency has been enforced.
Accordingly, on the advice of NEMA, I have this morning at 8:43 a.m. declared a national state of emergency. It will apply to the 6 regions that have already declared a local state of emergency, that is Northland, Auckland, Tairāwhiti, Bay of Plenty, Waikato and Hawke's Bay.
The cyclone is currently about 100 kilometres east of Auckland, near the east coast of the country's North Island, and is expected to move east and also southeast, parallel to the coast. Authorities in Auckland had earlier evacuated people from at least about 50 homes, and that was in danger of a collapse. Authorities have asked people in Auckland to only make essential trips, with train services being cancelled and the schools being shut. Meanwhile, some 10,000 international Air New Zealand customers were disrupted by the cancellation of at least about 500 flights. The Auckland airport has said that the international and domestic flights were expected to resume, but that could of course change if the weather conditions worsen in the coming days. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.